Bamboo Lover, by the way, love the name. Have a question. If you had the opportunity to purchase with limited money an old timers, silver collection, Morgans, Mercury's, Eagles, junk, what would you go for first?
Those are the 4 items that I like as much as anything in the world. So
anything that you would think is
I love the Morgans, and the Eagles would be my favorite. Yeah. I mean, the Morgans are, you give someone a Morgan silver dollar from the late 1800s and they're like a kid on Christmas. They'll be like, oh my God, that's so cool. Yeah, that was $1 back when your great grandparents were walking around. And it's really, really, there's something mystical and special about the Morgan silver dollars. They are my favorite.
Okay. Smith Hers says, my dealer says gold will crap out at 4,800. I don't know what your dealer has, unless, you know, the batteries on my crystal ball.
Tell your dealer to come on the show. Let's talk, and I'll be nice.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see it go markedly higher than 4,800. But hey, you know, that's the beauty of different opinions. You listen, you evaluate, and then you make your own decision.
You know what we say in New York about opinions.
Everyone's got one.
No, we say something
else.
I know. Yeah. I don't know if we can say it.
You say opinions are like what?
You say opinions like assholes. Some are bigger than others.
And everyone's got one.
And everyone's got one. Yeah. All right. Well, Diego says, it's a cute picture of Diego. Yeah. Question for Andy Tattoo. Is Glint a good and secure way to diversify some of your silver holdings rather than having 100% physical custody yourself?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a good way. It's not. So, I mean, we always say, just like with Bitcoin, if you don't hold the keys, you don't hold your coins. It's a great way. I always like to think of it as a great alternative to having money in a checking account that you can spend.
It's unallocated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not segregated. It's allocated. So it's not in, it is there. You have title to it, but it's not like storing bars in one of our BRICS facilities or coins that have a specific association with you. I think that you should have physical silver in your own possession. I think you should have maybe physical silver at a BRICS facility, maybe arguably before you have it with Glint. But Glint is a great way to have it without dealing with the storage issues. But it's, you know, I think that the segregation and having the other bases covered first arguably would be the order of doing things. You know, the one thing it democratizes owning metal because there's no, you can spend $5 on it if you want. So that's one thing that I do like about it a lot.
GG4GB said goldbacks are awesome. They pay me better than a savings account. I'm not quite sure I understand that.
I don't understand it either. And I
I
have no problem with goldbacks. I like the owner. I wrestle with the fact that what do you do with them if the institutions won't take them? Who do you sell them to? There's 1 or 2 companies that buy. Maybe I'm naive and I'm not going to speak poorly about him at all because the guy's straight up honest guy. I know him. Lives right over here.
Yeah, well, there's a few different companies that, of course, make
the main guy that makes them.
Yeah,
and he's a good guy. And look, when they passed this law about like making legal tender coins, I think it'll end up being like they're doing in Texas. I could see where they would say, you bring your American Eagle gold coins to the Texas Bullion Depository. We're going to give you an app or a credit card where you can spend it. And states a lot of them are specifically saying American Eagle coins. So I don't have a beef at all against the gold back, but I'm not familiar enough to comment on how you're getting a better return on it than other things.
Yeah. And Smither says, I have a feeling we're headed to 40 silver again. Banks will not allow sound money, your owners. You know, Smithers, I would love in the comment section for you to tell me why you think 40 silver will be back again. I happen to think that there's a much greater chance of seeing 60, 65 before we see 40.
And the U.S. government just reclassified it as a critical mineral. They've just put a floor under the price. The biggest traders in the United States are bringing it in hand over fist. The countries around the globe are draining the exchanges.
And by the way, I'll tell you, from a retail perspective,
it'd be great.
We are
massive premiums.
We are. I mean, listen, we have metal, but sourcing metal these days is far greater than it's been. Premiums are rising.
Our head trader is going to have a nervous breakdown.
Oh, there's no question about it. And I'm sure it's probably about 90% my fault.
You know, we were in Aruba and I heard him say, you know, a vacation for me, Kevin, is one day without hearing your voice.
He's never been on vacation. But it's true. I mean, look, if we look back at some of these live Q&As and we talk about the Eagles and we were talking about, you know, $4 over spot or $5 over spot. Right now, on average, you're talking about $8 to $8.5 to $9 over spot for Silver Eagles.
Stupid.
I mean, look, Andy loves the Eagles, but for me, look, I want to own as much weight in silver right now as I possibly can. So for me personally, I've been buying much more of the larger bars, the 10-ounce bars, the kilo bars. Hundreds are a little big.
Junk silver might be the best.
Junk silver, without a doubt. It is. I mean, I went over it with somebody today. They're getting at about 4% more silver, roughly, than you would in like a 10-ounce bar.
You always want to keep in mind never crossing the penny-wise, pound-foolish line. But Richard Russell, my mentor, did say in the end it's about the number of ounces you own. Right. But there is argument for owning U.S. coinage or 1-ounce coins from sovereign mints. You can go either way, but the Eagles are just too damn expensive right now. If you can find kangaroos, maple leafs, Krugerrands, Britannias for harmonics, but they're going to be $4 cheaper than the Eagles. Bro.
Yeah, no, not $4. No, not anymore. No way. I mean, right now we're talking about us and our competitors at least. Yeah, three is probably a better number.
That's
but even still,
it's almost 10%.
You know, look, and I always tell my clients that I know when they call and call for Eagles and they have a lot of Eagles already. I tell them, you know, you have enough Eagles at this point, relatively speaking, that you can actually afford to now, because they want the weight, they want the silver. But think about it. If silver's now $52 and you're paying $8 in premium, you know, you're paying a good 16%.
And what did I say on so many? I got so much shit for saying that the premiums are so low, you guys, for the last year, and it won't take much to see premiums go up and availability disappear. I was trolling around last night in prep for some of my podcasts, and I stumbled across a Reddit page where someone said SD Bullion sold out of all their 1,000-ounce bars overnight. Something's happening. Well, again, stuff's getting hard to accumulate. If you realize, as my buddy Rick Rule always says, that the allocation of metals to the whole financial matrix is 0.5% from Joe and Jane Sixpack to the Harvard Endowment Fund, who just spent $200 million on gold, I think, the Harvard Endowment Fund, somewhere in that neighborhood, but they did. He always used to say that, and I laughed when they bought it. But if just 5%, now you got these big money managers, Hartnett and the CIO of Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs saying 25% from Gundlach, the bond king. Okay, if you saw a 25% allocation, that's a 50-fold increase in demand like that. Say, it's all gone, folks. And I'm telling you, that is no rhetoric. That is no talk in my book. That is no BS. That is flat out 1,000%. There would be nothing left tomorrow. Nothing. And then you're waiting and hope you get in queue. Just like in the UK, you go on their website to buy gold and it says there's a queue right now and you have to get in line to buy it. Getting metal will be much harder than people think. It's like one of those things you never realize how important it is till it's gone.
In Australia, there are people waiting online right now outside.
Well, China,
people online waiting.
It's everywhere.
Kevin Spence thinks Michelle McCory is like super hot.
She is. She's even smarter than she is beautiful.
Yeah,
which makes her extraordinary, and we're so thrilled to have her. She's amazing and open-minded. All of that.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else. All right, here we go. Robert Hutchinson, what is the real reason we're finding?
The reason is that during the summer when it was so quiet, and I kept telling everyone it's really weird how quiet it is, and all of the managed money, all the big money is leaving the equities market, and all these deliveries coming in